Well, let's get more analysis on this with Spencer Critchley. He's a Democratic strategist and a managing partner at Boots Road Group, a marketing company. He joins me live now from Monterey in California. Hi there, Spencer. So how is all of this, the criminal charges, going to affect Trump's campaign? He, of course, has so much support from his Republican base, but is this just going to be something that spurs them on even more?
Certainly with the base, as we see in the poll numbers, and this fits into the mythical narrative that Trump has been spinning all the way along, where he is the champion of people who feel that they suffer from endless grievances. And so every time he suffers, he's suffering on their behalf. Even when he's humiliated, that humiliation is seen as something he suffers on their behalf. So it doesn't really matter to his most committed base how much evidence there is against him, and the evidence is truly overwhelming. It can all just be fit into this mythical narrative, as I say, of victimization. But from the point of view of a presidential election, the committed base of either party is not what swings the election. What swings the election is the swing voters. That's a shrinking proportion of the total electorate, but it still is the most significant portion of the electorate in terms of affecting results. So it's really going to be just a few percent of registered voters who might vote for Trump or who might vote for Biden, who are becoming less and less likely to vote for Trump, I would say.
Spencer, should Democrats be leveraging Trump's criminal woes here, and will they?
I think they will. I think that President Biden, though, so far has been completely right in not doing that. One of the false narratives that the Trump team wants to spin is that everything is political, that there's no such thing as independent justice, that the rule of law is essentially meaningless. Everything is about the personal preferences of whichever personality happens to occupy the Oval Office. And one of the probably the most important mission that Joe Biden has right now is defending democracy and the rule of law, which includes defending the concept of an independent judicial system. And so I think he's been exactly right to be utterly hands-off all the way along. And he will certainly, of course, be talking about this when he's campaigning as a candidate, and I hope and expect other Democrats will as well, because it has to be utterly unacceptable for essentially a criminal and a seditionist to be elected to lead the government he attempted to overthrow.
But of course, if Trump does actually go all the way and become president, he could just simply pardon himself of all these charges. But Spencer, you were speaking a bit earlier about the swing vote, undecided voters. The elections are in November next year. Between now and then, what would both sides have to do to try and get that undecided vote?
I don't think Trump can. Now, this doesn't mean that he can't win. He's surprised us once before. Most of the time he does lose. His record overall is very much a losing record, and his win in 2016, as even he himself acknowledged, was a fluke of multiple circumstances. What's most concerning to me is that it's even close. How could it even be close in a functioning democracy? A lifelong con man, so desperately unqualified and unpatriotic and dangerous as Trump to even be close. I don't think he can do much to influence swing voters, really, whereas the Biden campaign has to be careful not to alienate them. And I don't think they're going to. I think Biden is actually quite good at reaching swing voters. My hesitation here, though, is that the Biden campaign is facing a media environment, both traditional media and online media, much of which is hostile to any of his accomplishments, any of his truthful assertions about his record. And then there's the influence of gerrymandering and voter suppression and other extraneous factors that give Democrats a natural handicap going into any election.
It's certainly going to be an interesting one. Spencer Critchley live there from Monterey, California. Thanks as always for your analysis.